you're here. Yeah, we're so glad you're here. Oh, we're so glad to be together in unity.
Here, and we always like to say, welcome home. All right.
All right. Feeling all right? So how was your week? Was it good? How did you make it? Right? How many understand that it doesn't matter what happens to you, it's all about how you approach it, how you look at it, and how you think about it. Isn't that the truth? It's how we think about our life that makes all the difference. You know, we were at a bonfire last night, and we were talking about how that what you think of me is none of my business, and what I think of you is none of your business. Right? Does that make sense? So we don't want to let or allow someone else to take and steal our joy. How many know that life is meant to be joyful? Life is joy. If you look at nature, nature reflects that joy, doesn't it? It's all about that joy and following that joy and letting it lead you, because there's a reason why that you want to do that, right? And that's what we're going to talk about this morning, the joy secret. We want to learn how to tune into joy, because joy is the divine messenger from Spirit to us on how we should be living our lives. And if we align with the conductor of the orchestra, then you're going to play your part and you're going to fulfill your purpose. I mean, there's a divine orchestration. And if there's an orchestration, then there is a conductor, right? And the conductor is getting people in alignment, in rhythm, right? Have you ever watched an orchestra and watched a conductor and you wonder, well, what are they doing with all those hand movements? Well, every little subtle thing they do means something, you know? What does this mean? Give me more. What does this mean? What does this mean? Oboes, calm down. No, I'm just kidding. I just made that one up. So, do we have any oboe players here this morning? My apologies to the oboe players. So, but when we choose joy, we raise our brain's capacity to move from noise to harmony. How many know that your brain is the receiver of divine messages? Now, if your brain is always full of stuff, thoughts, and judgments, and criticisms, and bad feelings, and things like that, you're not going to be in alignment with the conductor, right? Actually, there's two conductors. One conductor is frantic. All right, let's over here. No, no, not you, not yet. How about you? No, not you. It's chaotic, right? And that's called anxiety. Anxiety is not a good conductor of your brainwave patterns, right? It's not a good conductor in the flow of your life. And so when you have, this conductor who's wildly waving their arms, demanding perfection, barking at the musicians, and the sound turns into chaos. So when your life is chaotic, what does that mean? I'm paying attention to the wrong conductor. Right? I'm listening. There's either love or fear, and there is joy or anxiety. Say it with me. Oh. Right? Joy or anxiety. Which one do you want to buy into? And how many know that we do purchase it? We do buy it. We do. and everybody's selling. Isn't it the truth? Everybody wants to sell you their point of view. They want to sell you their way of perceiving life. And I listen to people and I say, oh, that sounds, yeah, I can buy some of that, but I don't buy the whole thing. Make sense? How many know you have the power, you have the choice to decide what it is that you want to buy into? How many know the power's in your hands? Say with me, I've got the power. All right? The other conductor is calm, joyful, and clear. Calm, joyful, and clear. And those same musicians, they begin to create beauty, complex sounds that move together. How many understand that there are things that happen in your life that are beyond your brain? Right? How many have figured that out? There is a divine power that is in everything, working through us all, and knows where we need to be, and knows where our appointments are. How many know that you have appointments throughout the day? Now, I know you look at your book and you say, oh, I've got this appointment, I got that appointment, that's not what I'm talking about. How many know that's good? It's good to be organized, but you don't want to organize so much that you organize spirit out of your life. Say with me, uh-oh. Something to think about, right? So you want to allow for there to be time and space so that you can what? Just be. Just be. So every hour I like to just stop and take a breath and think about, where am I? Where's my brain? Where is it? What am I thinking about right now? Because whatever I'm thinking about, I'm going to what? Bring about. If I stay with it. If I buy into it. Okay? And it's going to cost me something. Make sense? So, spirit is your true conductor. And the brain is the receiver. And joy is the energy that guides you. Okay? Now, I know we have a violin player here, and she's very good, Wynn. And what caused you to want to play the violin?
Oh, that's a long story.
Give me one word. Joy? That's what I'm looking for. Just go ahead and say joy. We should have rehearsed. What's that?
Joy and competition.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, but you were excited about being competitive.
Yes.
Right? So if you trace it all back, there was something in you that sparked, that lit you up, and that said, ooh, I want to do this. I want to be able to do this. And so that is a signal from the universe, from the divine, from spirit that says, hey, this is for you. Follow that thread. We're going to get into that next week. You don't want to miss next week. All right. We can't do it all this week, so we'll do it over a period of 2, 3, 4 weeks, whatever. Anyway. So joy is the energy that guides you and causes you to get in alignment with the baton, the conductor. And so, because I know this has happened. I had a lady come to me one time. She said, James, she said, I'm ready to find my significant other. Said, I want to get married. I want to have kids, and I'm ready for it. I said, okay, go ahead. She said, well, I don't know how to do it. And so I said, all right, close your eyes, and take a deep breath. And her name was Cindy. I said, now, Cindy, tell me the first thing that comes to your mind that you should do. She thought, she had a spark, an idea, a divine idea in that moment. She said, I heard about this new computer dating service. This was back in the 80s, ladies and gentlemen. How many know that there were people that lived back then? This was just right after the Stone Age. Just kidding. And so she said, I just saw an advertisement for this computer dating service. I said, all right. I said, follow that. You know, let that be a clue, a divine clue for you. And so she said, okay. And so she went, I better make sure the chair's behind me. That's a good thing, right? And she went down to the computer dating service. You know, they had doors, and it was a computer, an actual computer that she had to go to. But anyway, so she walks in the door, and she walks up to the desk, and there's nobody there. And so she's thinking, oh, what's going on? So she notices there's a coffee pot. She said, I'll get a cup of coffee. So she walks over to the coffee pot. She makes herself a cup of coffee. And then she hears the bell where somebody else walks in. So she turns around, and his name is Winston. This is divine orchestration. And so she goes over, she sits down, and Winston, he gets a cup of coffee and sits across from her. And they're sitting there, and still nobody at the desk. And so they start talking. And they hit it off. They hit it off big time. Perfect soulmates. And you know what? They had 2 kids now. They're probably grown by now. This was back in the Stone Ages, right? So they're probably grown up and on Social Security. I don't know. But anyway, they probably have grandchildren of their own. But you see, there's a divine orchestration. Sometimes Spirit will lead you through those little tickles of joy on the inside so that you follow that. You go with that, and you see where it takes you. And you say, yeah, but why should I go down to the Starbucks and sit in the corner today? You know, I don't. But that's what you feel to do. Follow that, right? At the very least, you'll learn how to follow Spirit, because Spirit speaks in joyful terms. God doesn't say, all right, some hard things you're going to have to do. You're going to have to give up this, you're going to have to give up that, you're going to have to stop doing this, you're going to start doing that. No, it's joy, right? The divine wants you to follow your joy, your excitement. See where it leads, where it takes you. Explore that. But most of us, we live from a place, except for the people in here. And I'm including the new people too, because you're all smart. You always do the right thing, right? Always. But anyway, what was I going to say? So following that Spirit, following that joy is going to take you somewhere. The other way to do it is to follow your misery. How many know what misery leads to? Oh, I got to do this again. I just don't like doing this. Well, why are you doing it? Well, because somebody has to do it. Right? And if I don't do it, it won't get done. You know what that is? That's really the ego saying, you know, you're so important. You know what I discovered? I'm not all that important. In one sense. In the sense of, when I'm gone, guess what? The world will continue on. There will be somebody else that will come in here, and who knows what will happen, right? How many know that that's life? That's just life. But that's okay. Life has to continue. As long as you do your part while you're here, then that's how you make a difference, right? And that's how you show up and be the ones, to fulfill your purpose and to follow your joy. And as you follow your joy, you teach other people how to do it. And they look at you and say, well, why are you so happy? Because most people aren't happy. Have you noticed that? And the thing about it, they're out there working jobs. They're out there driving cars. And that's pretty dangerous. Miserable and unhappy. And that's no fun. That's not a fun way to live life, is it? See, we think that fun is extracurricular activity. But fun is supposed to be your life. Are you with me? Did that just go right over your head? What? It's supposed to be your life, right? Who you are. So when you're in harmony with your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions, you become beautiful music. Beautiful music. And the conductor is leading you through inspiration, through joy, through your gratitude, through the calm awareness. All that is signaling. It's signaling to you. It's God's telephone. Hey, come and follow me for a moment. Yeah, maybe. Was that really God talking to me? Isn't it amazing how we just doubt everything? All right. Think of your thoughts like an instrument, your feelings as the notes, and your actions as the rhythm of life. Right? Your brain plays in different musical keys. They're called brainwave states. And each one is a song of your soul. And they've measured this. There is something called the delta state. How many were in delta last night? It's the sleep state. It's the relaxed, the restful, restorative state of mind. It's deep healing. How many know that when you're asleep at night, your body is renewing itself? Your body is resting because your mind has shut up. Right? And so your body goes to work and starts to whoo. Then when you wake up in the morning, you feel refreshed. Right? You feel good. And that's the delta state. And that's at 0.5 hertz to 4 hertz. So to be asleep, you have to get your brain to be that calm. Right? That's why if you pick up your screen and you're looking at political stuff and your mind's going crazy, then you wonder, why can't I sleep? If the last thing you look at, is something like that, how many know you need to wind down, right? Because we want to lay down on the bed. You want to go down into your body. You want to relax and just begin to let go of the cares. And if you think of somebody who brings up anxiousness and fear and dread, forgive them. Just, I forgive you. See you later. You know what I mean? How many know forgiveness is about you? It's not about the other person. Right? And so you do that so you can get into that quiet, restful, restorative state. And then the next one is theta. Have you heard of this? And theta is between 4 and 8 hertz in the brain. And this is where the river of intuition flows. It's the creativity. It's like the dreamy state. And every once in a while, I like to sit when I'm meditating, and I go down, if I don't slip too far into delta, right? Then when I get to theta, I just, And you begin to recognize these states of consciousness. Oh, yeah, that feels really good. And sometimes you'll see pictures in your mind that'll just pop into your head. You'll hear words inside. You'll have intuitive hits and feelings and hunches in that state. And see, that's part of what meditation is about, right? Is to be open so that you can hear that conductor leading and guiding you. Make sense? So theta. And then there's alpha. And alpha is where I like to hang out. Because it's the awake state, but it's also relaxed. I'm awake, but I'm relaxed. Make sense? And I'm focused. This is the bridge of calm and flow. Life just flows. And somebody comes to you and says, oh boy, this is bad, this is awful. Aren't you going to get upset with me? And aren't you going to get mad with? No, thank you. I'm in alpha right now. I'm focused, but I'm relaxed, but I'm paying attention. I can hear what you're saying. My brain is not in control. I'm receptive to hear you and to talk with you and to be with you without judging you. Isn't that wonderful? To be with somebody without judgment. Wow, that should be our goal in every relationship we have. How many know who the hardest person to be that way with is? Yourself. And your significant other. Right? Because you're with them all the time. They know you. Or they think they know you. And you think you know them. How many know you really don't? Because the true you is the divine, beautiful soul that's peeking out those eyeballs. That's the person, the self, that you want to get to know in the other person. Make sense? Because that's who you want to know within yourself. It all goes back to you, doesn't it? Say it with me. It's not my fault, but I am responsible. Right? Okay. And then there's the beta state. Now, the beta state is between 13 and 18 hertz. And it's just where you're awake. Maybe you have a job where you have to be careful because you're using knives. You know, you have to really pay attention to what you're doing. Maybe you're working with numbers, you know, or maybe you're using saws or you know what I mean? You're doing something you have to be very alert and really pay attention. And so that's the beta state. And most people, you know, are usually hang out there, you know. But what happens is they start going over the 14 number into 15 and 16 and 17, 8, you know, or the 18 number, and they get into high beta. And high beta is anxiety. And if you could measure your brain, you'd see. You could see the vibration of your brain. How many understand what vibration is? It's so simple. It's movement. It's a conductor, right? It's movement. All your atoms are moving. And they're moving so quickly and so fast that you give the appearance that you are solid. But how many know you're not solid? Right? If you were to if the atoms of your body just ceased to move, there would only be enough of you to put on the head of a pin. But it's not a weight loss thing. Right? Because you'd still weigh the same amount. So you'd be small looking, but you'd be very heavy. Make sense? So, vibration is movement. Frequency is how the movement goes. Right? It's the frequency of the movement. And this is the productivity, alertness state. You want people who are, you know, working on your house to be in beta. You want them to be paying attention, right? And then there's one more state. And this is a beautiful high state of consciousness. It's called gamma. I know that sounds like something from the Incredible Hulk, right? But actually, it's a state of mind. It's a state of being. And it's between 32 and 100 hertz. And the brain is oscillating so quickly that it is in the universal flow. It is receiving divine intelligence in the moment. You ever have that happen? Where you get a flash of insight, you're talking to somebody, and they've got something going on in their life, and you're talking to them, and all of a sudden you get a download, and you just share it with them, and they go, oh, that's it. That's what I need. That's that divine flow. And many times, if you're an artist, you understand this state, because sometimes you'll just enter in, you're just so excited and so happy and joyful with what you're doing. You're just so into it. You are one with the activity. You know, it's like the artist who forgets to eat, the singer who becomes the song, right? The speaker who becomes the living word when they share, when they talk. You understand what I'm saying? And this is that gamma state. And it's so cohesive, and it just comes together. And it's beautiful. But each of these frequencies are available to you. You just need to tune your instrument, your brain. In the Bible it says, be renewed in the spirit of your mind. How many know you have to constantly renew your mind? To constantly work with it, to deal with it, to train it. Because how many know that you don't have to be stuck with all the stinking thinking that you've been doing? Right? You can let that go. And as you start walking away from it, the further away from it you get, the further separated from it you are, and the less you're likely to go back and do it. Does that make sense? Because now you're gathering new tools. You're gathering new activities. You're following your joy, your excitement. You're doing different things now. And so that, is, you look back at things and say, I don't want that. That's not who I am now. So ask yourself, say, who am I now? Who am I? Let's say it together. Who am I now? Doesn't matter what you accomplished yesterday or last year. Great, good. But who are you now? Right? Who are you supposed to be in this moment? Because that's really all that is important. Oh, when the music gets out of tune, though, whew, we get anxious. We get bored. I'm so bored. I'm confused. I don't understand. And these are the moments when your orchestra drifts off key. Have you ever heard high school kids when they first start playing orchestra? Not necessarily what you want to experience. Or I remember, it's like all of our kids went through the stage and they all wanted to play drums. Right? And not just drums, but they wanted drums like, you know, the celebrities, the musicians on TV. I want drums like that. Now, you start off with the tom-tom, you know, with the bongo, the conga, and let's see where you go from there. Because is it your excitement? Are you following your excitement? Or are you just following what somebody else is doing because you think you should do it, right? Now, it's okay to explore it, and that's why we got them some drums. You know, all right, play. See what happens. Of course, Chris, he came out wanting to play the guitar. And we've got a picture of him somewhere where he's got a little plastic guitar. And he goes, now our oldest one, he was kind of that way too. he settled on the guitar. And one day he was dancing through the house playing his little guitar. And he was going, Bon Ariste, hey, hey, Bon Ariste, hey, hey. And Leah said, what is he saying? You remember that? And so finally she had the TV on, and who was it? Bruce Springsteen was on, and he was singing Born in the USA. And he started saying, Bon Ariste, hey, hey. Right? But that's how you learn. Sometimes you need to try those things, even though, you're not certain, but there's a spark there. There's something, I want to try this, Now, don't sell your house to do it, right? Don't quit thy job to do it. But take a step in that direction and see where it leads you. But take a strong, confident step, Don't be timid and, I'm not sure. I was reading about Tom Hanks. Do you know who he is? What does he do? He's actor? Yeah, something like that. Anyway, when he was in high school, he was very shy. He didn't speak up a lot. And he saw a play. And he goes, oh, my goodness, wow. And it just spoke to him. And he said, I got to do that. And there was this joy, this excitement. I got to do that. And so even though he was a little nervous, even though, he stepped out there, and just said, okay, I'm going to do this. And of course, the rest of the story, right? And it worked out, see. But when music is out of tune, oh my goodness, anxiety is like a violin section gone wild. It's high, fast, it's screechy. Too much beta. Anxiety is a whisper of your power, but it's speaking the wrong language. Boredom is when the orchestra's fallen asleep. We played this before, right? So what do you do about that? What do you do when you get bored with the people you love in your life? You say, oh, yeah, seen that before. Oh, we're going to have to go through this again? How many understand that you have to continually approach the people in your life as if it was the first time? Right? When you give your beloved a kiss, let it be like the first time. Where you just slobber all up. No. Like the first time. When you hold hands, let it be the first time. You ever hold hands with somebody? Holding hands is a very spiritual experience. And some people, they're not real good at touch. But you say, can I just hold your hand for a minute? So you hold their hands just for a little bit. And just kind of rub their knuckles and the little space in between. And they start relaxing. Oh, that feels pretty good. And you know what happens? It starts releasing endorphins. Say with me, ooh. Right? And so you begin to approach them as if you've never seen them before. Who are you today? Who are you right now? I don't want to think about you the way and that's what we do, because we create like these lists of all the things where you've wronged me and all the ways that you've hurt me, that you've blamed me, that you've gotten upset, and then we have the list and we keep it in our back pocket. Then whenever the other person gets upset with us, you bring out the list. And then you start going down the list. Oh, yeah. Oh, I remember when you said that. Remember when you did this. Remember when you wrecked the car. And that was so expensive. Right? We make a big deal out of what they do, right? But how many know you need to drop all that? Take your list. Maybe even write it up. Write it out. And then find a bowl, which we're getting close to the first of the year. We always have a burning bowl ceremony, okay? And we invite people to write down all the stuff they don't want to take with them through the portal of the next year. And we put it in the bowl and we burn it up. And there's something about doing that your mind, your brain, your subconscious, you see it and you go, oh, I guess that's done. We won't be going back there anymore. Now, you'll be tempted because your brain is like a recorder. And you'll begin to hear voices from the past, ghosts from the past. Good Halloween theme, right? Ghosts from the past. But you learn now that you don't have to listen to that. I want to be to you the person that I am now. Who do I want to be right now? And who do you want to be? Tell me who you are. Isn't it lovely when you sit down with somebody and you ask them, tell me who you are? Right? Who are you now? What excites you right now? What uplifts you right now? I've only got 3 more pages. But that's okay. Because I just follow my joy. Whatever comes to me in the moment, sometimes. You have your list, you have your things to talk about, and then Spirit says, okay, this is where I really want you to go. That was really a nice outline, but you can save it for later. Put it in a book or something. It's okay. Let's take a breath. We're going to turn the lights down. And Sarah's with us this morning. She's going to play some beautiful Native American flute for us. And just let yourself listen to it for a few moments. And get still. Let your brain just calm. Who am I now? Who are you? So breathe. And just listen for just a moment. Keep breathing. Keep breathing. Be aware of the in and out rhythm of your breath. You've been doing it all of your life. Just pay attention for just a moment to your sacred breath. Out of the beta state to the alpha state. And some of you might even go into the theta state. And some maybe even to the delta state. But that's okay. If you need to sleep, just be with your body. Pay attention. If there was one thing that you would do this week that would really bring you joy, what would that be? When you think about it, you think, oh, that would be fun. Might be a little scary, maybe. Maybe you don't know anything about it. But there could be a message there for you. So follow your joy. Your joy. And then the next step, you follow your joy. And then the next step and the next step. It's much easier when you take one step at a time. Just like your body can only breathe one breath at a time. That's it. So simple. So beautiful. In and out. That's how your life works. It's that vibration, that movement, aligning yourself with the Spirit, with the conductor. Alignment of the spirit, the mind, and the body. And your brain will just go with you wherever you take it. Works good as a receiver. That's what it's for. So what is that one thing you'd like to try or do this week? It doesn't have to be a big thing. Maybe you'd like to make some homemade biscuits. Bring it to the next potluck. Maybe there's somebody on your heart that you've been wanting to talk to. Maybe you just want to go see a show. Take a walk. Sometimes we get stuck in our heads, and there's nothing like a walk around the park, looking at the flowers, observing the trees, and how the trees just sway back and forth. They vibrate in the wind. And it helps your vibration, helps your body, your mind to settle. You feel that? Even if you can't go because maybe it's raining, just inside, take a little walk in the park. Sounds fun to me. If you know of someone that you'd like to pray for, there's someone on your heart this morning, I invite you to bring the awareness of them into your mind, into your heart, and hold space here for them now. Maybe you just want to hold space with them and just maybe imagine them with you and not say a word and just be with them. That's very powerful. It's very healing. It could be that words come to you, prayers, and you begin to affirm their highest good and their best. Because I don't always know what people need, but the divine conductor does. Knows exactly what they need. So if we can just see them in that balanced state, that healed state, that wholeness and well-being, Just hold them there for just a moment. And now let us pray one for another. Let us hold space for all of us together. I affirm your joy today, my friend. I affirm your highest joy. Follow that joy. Now breathe. And so we say, thank you, God, for this time together. In the name of the Christ and all that's sacred, holy, and all that is beautiful and good. Amen. And so it is.
Amen. So it is.
All right. Thank you for your prayers. Thank you, Sarah, for serenading us. We appreciate it.